Everdell has 1 to 4 critters collecting resources to build their town. Starling Games provided this copy in exchange for an honest review. Assemble the Evertree, then place it on the board. Shuffle the main deck and give 5 cards to the first player, 6 to the next, and so on. You can never have more than 8 cards in your hand. Whenever you discard an Everdell, the cards go face down in the area at the bottom of the board. Place 8 cards face up in the meadow. The rest go in the Evertree. Each player takes a set of workers. You only start with 2, the rest go in the shown locations on the Evertree's top branch. Shuffle the forest cards and place 1 in each clearing. Depending on player count, you'll use 3 or 4 clearings. Place the 4 basic event tiles along the river. The special event cards are shuffled and 4 are placed on the Evertree's lower branch. The rest go back in the box. Finally, place the twigs, resin, pebbles, and berries in their spaces and keep the other tokens within everyone's reach. Don't worry, I want to show you one thing first, but then I'll explain what all of these things mean. On your turn, you do one of 3 things. Place a worker, play a card, or prepare for the next season. Preparing for the season is basically saying, I'm done for that round. The game begins at the end of winter, so to prepare for spring, retrieve all of your workers, gain the first worker atop the Evertree, and resolve all of your played green production cards. Nice! Do you notice anything about summer? That's right, no harvest. You do gain another worker, plus you get to draw 2 cards from the meadow. Take a look at autumn. See how it also allows you to harvest from the green cards in addition to gaining 2 workers? Let's look at cards now. The top left part of a card shows the requirements, which is usually resources, but sometimes is another card. The middle shows the card type. Remember when I mentioned those green production cards? The other types are red destinations, which are cards that workers can visit. Tan Travelers are one and done cards that never activate again. Blue Governess cards can usually combo with other cards or give discounts. Purple Prosperity cards provide endgame bonuses in addition to their base points. Those little scratches between the type and name show how many of that card is in the deck. Brilliant! If you are going for something that needed a card and the only 2 copies are now in other players' cities, you know to shift to Plan B. That last icon shows the card's point value. Below the name, you'll see if the card is common or unique. You can only have 1 specific unique card in your city. The bottom right corner shows if a card has a linked critter. The example on the rulebook is the Courthouse and Judge. If you've constructed the courthouse, you may play the judge without paying the requirements. Use an occupied token to cover up the courthouse's judge icon to show that you've activated it. When you play a card, you can play from your hand or the meadow. Immediately refill the meadow with a new card. Your workers will help you gain the resources needed to play cards. The first 4 spaces have 2 exclusive spots shown by a closed circle. One earns you 3 twigs and the other earns you 2 resins. Only a single worker can visit an exclusive spot. There are also 2 shared spots that multiple workers can visit. One earns you 2 twigs and a card, and the other earns you 1 resin and a card. The same rules apply for the next 4 spaces. Here, you can earn 2 cards and a victory point, 1 pebble, 1 berry and a card, and 1 berry. These 8 spaces are the same in every game of Everdell. Let's look at the forest locations now. The forest cards you shuffled and set out earlier mean that these spaces will provide different resources game to game. As you can see, they are very valuable. You may also see that they are exclusive. In 4-player games, the second space opens up, but a single player cannot have both of their workers visit a forest location. Some cards open up a spot for a worker. One with an open sign can be visited by other players. If an opponent's worker visits your destination card, You earn a point token. Haven is a shared spot where you can discard cards. For every 2, you gain a resource of your choice. This is available in every game. Also available in every game, but only in Autumn, is the Journey. Discard 2 to 5 cards and place a worker in that space. You will gain that many points during endgame scoring. There are 2 types of events. Basic ones are available in every game. Special ones are those that you shuffled and put out on the Evertree. When you achieve an event, place your worker on it to claim it. When you prepare for season, take the token or card with you as a reminder. That's the game. Once everyone passes in Autumn, you start adding up your score. The winner is the player with the most points. Place workers to gain resources and play cards to score points in complete events. That's Everdell. Everdell has a huge central board, player areas that grow significantly, and save this for the dining table. One thing you should know if playing with more than 3 people is the layout. The Evertree is so tall, so sitting behind it won't work at all. There's a good amount of setup and takedown. It's not the Walking Dead No Sanctuary, but expect to spend 5 to 7 minutes total just prepping things and putting things away. With that said, the game plays fast. Our learning game was 90 minutes, but after that, 75 minutes or so with 3 and 45 to 50 minutes with 1 and 2 players. There is tons of reading, and the Evertree and resources aren't made for clumsy people. You'll also have an 8-card hand. I highly recommend using bit organizers. We got these from Board Game Geek. They have 5 spots for bits and 2 card slots. With all that said, the gameplay is simple and the icons are easy to remember. Strong reading 8-year-olds with game experience should be fine. Make sure everyone understands Everdell's special event cards before you start. They're small and have a lot of tiny text on them. In a 2-player game against my dad, I was explaining things and he was like, "Okay, I got it." I started to read the rest of the card and he was like, "I'll just take a closer look if I need to." He forgot to. He happened to have the cards to finish 2 special events very early. The first turn of spring, I think. He just placed his workers to claim them, and that was that. At the end, when he went to score them, he was like, "Hey, wait a minute. Too bad, so sad, Dad." Want to hear the worst part? He still won. By 1 point. Everdell's components are incredible. The Evertree, while fiddly, looks impressive. The resources and custom meeples are adorable. The card art is just, wow. I should clarify that I have the Collector's Edition, which has components for the solo game, coin and token upgrades, and some extra cards. I like it, but if you'll never play solo, you can probably pass. The regular edition is still loaded with stuff. The rulebook is easy to follow, has card explanations, and tons of good examples, including endgame scoring. It also has stories from the game's world, which is really cool. For a fairly straightforward game, the engine building is strong thanks to the spring and autumn harvests and card relationships. Knowing the deck and understanding how the force and special event cards work go a long way toward helping you win. Then again, all it takes is for someone to block you and take what you need for you to switch to plan B. It's manageable chaos, strategy with a bit of tactics. I just mentioned the deck and forest spaces. Well, the deck is huge and you'll probably only see half in a game. The variable setup of those forest spaces plus special events means there's a lot of replayability. This works well at every player count. In the solo game, you need to plan and maximize every turn, or else the bot will block you. It's a simple system of blocking and gaining items, but it works well. As you go from the first to second to third year, you need to have a perfect engine and block the bot from getting events, or you'll be crushed in the endgame scoring. If I'm going to play a long solo game, I'd rather play a Sadler Brothers one from Blacklist Games. But this is next in line. With 2 players, you're less likely to be blocked, making building a bit easier. This is a worker placement game. You put out a worker and collect the resources or benefits. Because it's less nasty, this could be something to play with someone in your house that isn't into mean games as much. Then, when the full family is home or friends are over, you can play the full game with the blocking and take that. With 4 players, it only adds another 10 or so minutes at the most. One interesting thing, because of the 4 additional spots, it's easier to get forest clearings. You're much more likely to be blocked at the basic spaces. Also, you have the same number of meadow cards despite the extra person. We found that the Haven was more important with the full player count. Take that? Yeah, there are a few cards that directly affect other players. If you hate this in games, just take those out. The game still works pretty well. Analysis paralysis means you freeze when you need to make decisions. There are many AP moments in this game, from choosing which resource or card to take, to figuring out how to maximize your workers in order to do everything you want to do in a round. Everdell is one of the prettiest games in our collection, but the engine building is as strong as Steampunk Rally, and tough short-term and long-term worker placement planning is as strong as the pursuit of happiness. In other words, this is fantastic. Do you like planning ahead, managing multiple resources, and maximizing every action, yet want something accessible to play with younger and new/non-gamers? There's a reason why everyone has fallen in love with Everdell. I have. We have. Maybe you will too.